Hey guys, meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. All right, let's go to bullet points. Here's what I'm seeing over the next 7 to 8 to 9 days. So in the immediate, we've got this major storm cycle over the west. That snow will continue to be heavy in parts of the Wasatch and also in Colorado into Monday 115. And then Wyoming also gets some snow late 114 into 15 as well. Part of a reinforcing cold front that's going to come to the south, barrel through the Tetons into the Wasatch and also into Colorado, keeping that snow going into 115. Then the next storm system right on its heels, 117 to 118, with a rich west-northwest flow, will come out of the Pacific Northwest BC and then down through the northern tier and hitting the Wasatch and also parts of Colorado and Wyoming. And then beyond that, a new pattern, kind of a Pacific rich pattern, warmer temperatures across the west, but still a fair amount of moisture. I'll show you that. That's basically 119, 120 through about 123. All right, let me show you my spider chart. Odds of best snow next 7 days, roughly across the west. It's going to be hard to miss on this one. We've had so much snow, feet of snow. But there are some places that will be better with new snow, like the Wasatch, like the Tetons, like Colorado, all higher on this, and specifically in Colorado, the central and northern mountains through most of the period. And you have also got British Columbia high on the list. I've got central and northern Idaho, northwest Montana, Washington, Oregon, all higher on the spider chart. More purple, higher on the web. Some areas that are a little bit lower include the Northeast, Taos, Ski Santa Fe, Angel Fire. Sun Valley's a tick lower, Big Sky's a tick lower. Sunshine Village, Marmot Basin just a little bit lower. Interior BC is going to capture most of the snow. Tahoe's just a little bit lower, and so is Mammoth. So there you go with the spider chart. So let me just show you what's going to happen here. Here's the water vapor satellite imagery. So oranges and reds on this are your drier air aloft, whites and blues are your moisture. I want to just start by marking the Arctic front, and it's basically right in here. It's the focal point for a lot of this heavy snow across the west. That's the first major part of the Arctic front. There's a reinforcing cold front back here that will be barreling south on 115 and keeping the snow going through parts of the Tetons, the Wasatch, and parts of Colorado. That's phase one. Now, there's also a storm system that will develop, and I want to just mark. So let's use yellow. So you've got this big trough out here with the Pacific Jet, all this energy. So this is most of that's associated with what's going to happen 119 through about 123. But there's a piece of that that's going to break off, and let me mark it. There's a little area of low pressure back here that's going to break off, and that's going to move into the BC area and Pacific Northwest and then race down through with west-northwest flow and become that 117, 118 storm. And then beyond that, all of this rotates into the west coast 119 through 123. Here's the forecast radar and satellite. So by the time we get into Monday morning, this is the situation. Snow continues right along that boundary with the reinforcing front coming in, Tetons, Wasatch, and in Colorado, especially the central and northern mountains. All right, by the afternoon, same type of thing. Snow continues, probably on its last legs coming out of the Wasatch, but it continues in Colorado all the way down into Denver at 5280. Here we are on 116, it's gone. So here comes our next storm system, 117 to 118. Races into the Pacific Northwest. This is 117 in the morning. Heavy snow, Idaho, northwest Montana, BC, Washington, Oregon, Tetons, and Wasatch. Moves into Colorado during the afternoon and evening hours. Snows there pretty hard. There's a nice little west-northwest flow, and then that ends on 118 late in the day. Now here comes the new pattern. Most of the West Coast will feel this with a powerful Pacific Jet, and I'm going to show that to you in a minute. So by this point, we're not talking cold, the Arctic cold. It's much warmer. A lot of that Pacific warmth will be moving into the west. All right, let me show you what the jet's going to look like. So this is 115 on Monday. There's a trough dip in the jet there over Colorado, Wyoming. That's the low pressure. That's the last of that flow, the last of that Arctic front getting moved away. And then we'll watch for the 117 storm, and here it is. West-northwest flow with the jet. Go to our graphics through BC, through Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the Wasatch, and in the central and northern mountains of Colorado. That's 117. And that continues into 118 with snowfall. Now, this is totally different. This is 122. Look at that powerful Pacific Jet moving in. There's actually a trough with a storm system moving out of California through Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming at that point. So we'll have some snow and a wave of energy moving through. But that's just a different pattern at that point. All right, let me show you snowfall. Here are my numbers, 115 through 123, potentially almost 3 feet of snow for Little Cottonwood Canyon, about 25 to 30 for Big, and about a foot, foot and a half for Park City, Deer Valley, and Snow Basin. That's a grand total from 115 to 123. Colorado, 1 to 2 feet. Anywhere you see that purple shade, that's a foot plus. So many mountain ranges are over a foot. In the Pacific Northwest and BC, just getting nailed up there with that rich flow. Some of that's from 117 to 118. Some of it's from 119 and beyond. But a lot of snow central to northern Idaho, northwest Montana, BC, and just big numbers up there with that. Let me go into the northeast. Oh, and one more note. What you see in Utah and the Tetons, some of that happens on 115, and then quite a bit of it happens on 117 and 118 with that storm system. Okay, into the northeast, I don't have a whole lot of snow here. Got some light snow on 114, 115, 116, 119, 120. You've got some snow coming through. Obviously, there's going to be some lake effect if you're closer to the lakes, but I don't have any big consolidated storm systems for the northeast at this point. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Appreciate you tuning in here, and take care.